Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into a massive dietary whodunit. I mean, it seems like practically overnight, half the people we know had to absolutely banish the breadbasket from their tables, right? But how does an entire population suddenly become allergic to the very food that practically built human civilization? We're gonna put gluten on trial today and figure out exactly what happened.
So, here is the central, mind-boggling mystery to kick us off. Why is everyone suddenly allergic? If bread has been our staple food forever, literally the cornerstone of the human diet, what went wrong so incredibly quickly? Did our bodies just collectively forget how to digest food? Or did the food itself kind of pull a fast one on us while we weren't looking?
Okay, let's dive into this and put things into perspective. 5,000 humanity thrived on bread for well over 5 millennia without this cascading, widespread digestive crisis. Generations upon generations of our ancestors ate bread morning, noon, and night. The fact that a food providing sustenance for that long is suddenly public enemy number one, that means something fundamentally shifted, and fast. Now, real quick, before we start naming our suspects, we need to clear one thing up. Celiac disease is a rare, genetic autoimmune disorder where the body actively attacks gluten, but that's only about 1% of people. Today, we are investigating the massive, rapidly growing wave of non-celiac gluten intolerance. You know, the sudden, awful stomach issues people are experiencing without that specific genetic disease. To solve this, we need to start pointing fingers. All right, let's bring in suspect number 1, the Frankenstein grain. We have to ask, is the wheat our grandparents ate the exact same plant sitting on grocery store shelves today? Spoiler alert, it's not. 10,000 years ago, humans cultivated einkorn, which was this simple grain with just 2 sets of chromosomes. A couple millennia later, natural mixing gave us emmer and durum, bumping it to 4. But fast forward to today, we are eating hexaploid red wheat, a genetic heavyweight boasting 42 chromosomes. It's literally like jumping from a flip phone straight to a supercomputer. We rapidly engineered this plant to maximize its yield. Now, what's really interesting about this is that because of that extreme genetic jump, modern selective breeding introduced brand new protein sequences into the wheat to make it resist pests and grow faster. But here's the catch. Our bodies haven't downloaded the latest software update. 5,000 years is just a tiny evolutionary hiccup, meaning we simply haven't had the time to adapt to these brand new gluten variants. We're essentially trying to digest a 21st century, highly engineered grain with a Stone Age stomach.
Moving right along to suspect number 2, the need for speed.
See, the grain wasn't the only thing that changed. The Industrial Revolution fundamentally altered how we actually turn that wheat into food. In 1961, the Chorleywood bread process was invented, and this was a monumental, turbocharged shift in baking history. It completely revolutionized commercial baking, pumping out cheap, ultra-soft loaves at lightning speed. Today, this exact method is responsible for about 80% of the bread produced in the UK, and it's used all over the globe. And the process is blindingly fast. You take lower protein flour, dump in extra yeast, fat, a heavy dose of vitamin C, and subject it to high shear mechanical mixing, which honestly is basically a giant dough tornado. In just 3.5 hours, you go from raw flour to a baked, sliced, and packaged loaf of bread sitting in a plastic bag. It's an absolute engineering marvel, sure, but it completely prioritizes factory efficiency over human biology. Contrast that with how bread was made for thousands of years. Traditional sourdough fermentation uses wild yeasts and bacteria to literally pre-digest the starches and gluten over 12 to 24 hours. Those bacteria were like tiny little sous chefs doing all the heavy digestive lifting for us. The Chorleywood process skips all of that. By shrinking the timeline down to a mere few hours, there is zero pre-digestion happening. You're forcing your own stomach to do all the work that time and bacteria used to take care of.
Get this, 90%. That is how much phytic acid traditional long sourdough fermentation can destroy. And phytic acid is basically a chemical force field that makes bread hard to digest and actually blocks your body from absorbing nutrients. By rushing the baking process, modern factories are leaving that force field completely intact.
And this brilliantly illustrates what the science is telling us. A direct study published in the journal PLOS One found that traditional long fermentation breads are far less likely to cause IBS symptoms compared to the hyper-fast Chorleywood process. By skipping that slow fermentation time, we've inadvertently created this chemical cocktail of unbroken down starches and proteins that our modern guts absolutely despise. Which brings us to suspect number 3, the environment, and our microbiomes. So we've talked about how the wheat changed and how the baking changed, but we also have to look at how we have changed. Enter the hygiene hypothesis. For millions of years, our immune systems evolved these incredibly powerful weapons to fight off nasty intestinal parasites. But in our ultra-sanitized modern world, those parasites are mostly gone. So, without real enemies to fight, our immune system becomes like an overly aggressive bouncer at an empty club, picking fights with completely innocent bystanders, like harmless gluten proteins. Add to that the absolute scrambling of our inner bacteria. High sugar diets, chronic stress, a total lack of sleep, and widespread antibiotics have just nuked our gut microbiomes. We each have a completely unique soup of thousands of bacteria species inside us. If you kill off the specific bugs needed to process gluten, well, you get sick. And because our guts are all so uniquely damaged by modern life, there really is no one-size-fits-all cure. Finally, there's the environment the wheat actually grows in. There's a prominent theory centering on crop desiccation. That's the agricultural practice of spraying wheat crops with chemicals like glyphosate right before harvest to dry them out faster and save wear on farm machinery. Now, completely impartially here, some researchers suspect it might not be the gluten triggering us at all. The theory is that trace amounts of these modern chemicals are hitching a ride on the grains straight to our plates.
So let's get to the final verdict. A perfect storm.
So, the crucial point is, who framed gluten? There isn't just one single cartoon villain here. It's a perfect storm. We took a grain, rapidly mutated its genetics, stopped fermenting it so we could bake it insanely fast, and then fed it into bodies equipped with bored immune systems and chemically scrambled microbiomes. All of these modern shortcuts basically compounded over just a few generations to create an overwhelming biological bottleneck. It kind of changes how you look at the grocery store bread aisle, doesn't it? The mystery of gluten intolerance isn't just some dietary fad. It's really a mirror reflecting how rapidly we've mutated our food and our world. So, knowing all of this, what is really hiding inside your next sandwich?